And welcome to Sasquatch Says. We got her back. How
Hello.
about that? Callie is back. Callie, baby, how you doing?
Oh, good. Just, at work again. Ooh.
Oh,
Sorry, trying to get the
and now we
phone
got the
set.
ceiling. You are all right. We got you. That's all that matters. We
There we are.
appreciate you making it. And the EMS God's not sending any
Ooh.
lives or toes for you to save.
Yeah,
Just your phone needs to be
really,
saved.
really hoping that we get to do this whole pod. Sorry
Yes,
about
me
last
too.
week.
It is all right. We all understand. Everybody is cool with it. We know we got to roll with the punches and what the EMS gods decide they want to do that day. But we got lots of abs to talk about because we just got to watch an absolutely epic series where they just mollywopped the Predators and sent them packing back to Nashville for the rest of the summer. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. As I just said, the Avalanche sweep the Predators with a full team effort. 16 of 19 skaters at least 1 point. Who impressed you the most besides Makar? Because we already know that's the most impressive.
Of course. I think, of course, Nathan McKinnon is always impressive. I think he should almost fall into the category of besides as well. But I think, especially this year, he's showing he looks like a man possessed at this point. Like, personal vendetta is just a Stanley Cup between him and Makar. It's like, okay, just take it.
Appreciate you, Nika, for showing up. We'll take all the views and all the likes. We appreciate it. But yes, McKinnon obviously probably should have put him in the besides. I think I agree with you on that. But for me, it was Devon Taves. The man had the second most
Talked
points.
about him last time.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That man, him and McKinnon, that two-man game is sick and it's unfair. And they absolutely shredded the Predators throughout the entire series. So I'll take it one step further. What was your favorite goal? And I'll even let you use Makar.
Oh God. Favorite goal is always hard because they were just so
So many
great.
good ones.
It was
So many
so
good ones.
great.
Yes.
I actually really liked the ripped net goal by Andrei Burakovsky, just because it was one of those moments where you're like, geez Louise, how hard did he shoot that puck? And it was just a wrister, like, Jesus.
Right. Think about being the
So,
goalie that has to stop those
yeah,
things.
no thanks. Mm-mm.
No,
Nope.
I think I'd rather take the Cooper stick to the face, honestly,
Yeah.
and try and stop that.
Yeah, definitely. Or being one of those defensemen that tries to block the shot and you get hit with the
Oh
pack.
my goodness!
Nope.
Especially when you catch it in a part that doesn't have a pad, because this
Like
is
your face.
right, like the face, especially the
And then
face.
they're like, I'm going to skate it off. It's fine.
Right, you got to just rub some dirt on it. It'll be all right.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah, me personally, I have to probably this is probably the low hanging fruit, but just the majesty of the game winner by Makar. I mean, everything was perfect. The spin move, the stiff arm, being able to keep a hold of the puck while doing all of these things, and then sink it in the back of the net for the game winner, and just add on to the accolades that he is building in this postseason. I think this postseason is going to be the beginning of the legacy of what Kale McCarr can be. It is absolutely insane. The man has 10 points in 4 games.
Yeah.
No other defenseman has done that in Avalanche history. I don't think any defenseman's done it in NHL history, have they? That many points in that few games?
I'm not sure about that many points in that few games. I know they were showing graphics of him with all-time legends in the NHL and his points per game average and all that kind of stuff. Granted, the legends have been doing it longer. They had 75 plus playoff games that they've been doing this for. Kale McCarr will get there eventually. Right now, I'm just enjoying his average so far.
I think that's what we all need to do is make sure that we are enjoying the moment. You will not see another player like that in this generation, so make sure all of you are glued to the screen when he is on the ice and enjoy every single moment because he will pass by faster than you can imagine. I
Yeah,
agree
I
with
think
that
one of the
100%.
huge compliments was Nathan McKinnon said he's one of the best players in the game right now, which for McKinnon to say just shows you how great he really is.
Right. I mean, to get that type of praise from probably the best player in franchise history, I mean, that's some pretty high praise to get with, and I'm sure that made McCarr's day. I mean, just to get that recognition, most definitely.
Yeah,
But
definitely did.
staying with offense, the Avalanche averaged more than 5 goals per game. Now, can they sustain that scoring in round two, or is this more of a product of the type of goalies that were in net for the Predators in this series?
I mean, there was a couple games where their goalie stood on his head and kept them in the game, and didn't look like a rookie goaltender. But then there were other games where it was like, okay, he looks like a rookie goaltender. He definitely made quite a few mistakes, and definitely paid for it. However, the Avs have such a high-powered, not just offense but defense as well. As you pointed out with Devontae's and Makar, and you look at Gerard and Bo Byram, like all of these guys can put in and chip in and score, and then with the added benefit of some of the guys at the point that have the shot from the point with like Eric Johnson, things like that. The guys that aren't necessarily considered offensive defensemen still have that ability to score on the Avs. And the fact that it seems like Jared Bednar can mix them up and make whatever pairings he wants, and it's functional and it works, I think just adds an extra threat for scoring on really any opportunity that they have in the game as a whole. And then you look at our lines, and Val Nichushkin has been scoring, and he's had a phenomenal year so far. And he's definitely considered like secondary scoring when you look at our primary of like Rantanen and McKinnon and all those guys. And then you have Kadri, who's coming in on that second line, and Andre Burakovsky, and the list just goes on at this point of guys that have the ability to score. And I think a few of them are definitely getting hot just at the right time here in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that even just 4 episodes in, people are tired of hearing me scream this, but the depth of this team is insane. It is absolutely bonkers. It should not,
Yeah.
especially with a salary cap, you should not be able to put this type of a scoring unit together. And it's not even just the scoring. The defense in this series was insane. There was, I believe it was 5 quarters that they held the Predators to single-digit shots on goal. Not just
Predators
shots
only had one lead the entire series, and it was
for
5
what
minutes.
was it? Yeah, I was going to say like 5
5
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to give Joe Sakic a lot of credit for the depth that he's been able to create, and the players that he's been able to retain, and I would say cherry pick. I feel like he's cherry picked a few players. Definitely paying attention to their salary, because if you look at some of these guys' contracts, they are making pennies on the dollar for what they should be making at this point. And Joe Sakic just gobbled them up.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I think we've talked about it before about how spoiled Denver is with front offices outside of Coors Field. It's amazing what Joe Sakic has been able to do with the salary cap, being able to limbo under it, but still add effective, productive pieces. He's not just getting a guy, he's getting guys that help make the team better. It's not just simply making moves to make moves. They are deft, they are intelligent, and they help in every way that you want them to help. Between the Coglianos, the McDermotts, every single move has panned out. It's rare to see, but he just does it.
I think we have to give a little bit of credit at this point to Nazem Kadri, because he has looked better than he has in other playoff series in his past, and so far he hasn't made any errors in judgment, is what I'll call it. And so I hope that he continues on that path, and he continues to kind of say to the NHL, like, look, I'm not this player anymore. I'm not going to do this. Everyone always talks about him and him getting suspended. And so I think he almost has a chip on his shoulder about it. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that this year. Like, that's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. So no, like, I want to win a Stanley Cup with this team this year right now.
Yes, I have a full belief that he pinned that editorial, I don't know, letter, article, whatever you want to call it, for the Players Tribune as a way to hold himself accountable as you Oompa Loompa scoot around.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
No, it
sitting
was
on the
good.
floor trying to get comfortable, you know.
Oh, you're good. It was hilarious to watch. It made me forget about what I was saying. I just
Kadri.
looked at Kadri. Yes. Okay. Players Tribune. Thank you for getting me back on track.
Yep, got you.
but, but yes, I think that was a way of him holding himself accountable, and he's showing it on the ice. There has been multiple times that he could have been the Kadri of old. He could have taken that cheap shot, that bang bang play, and he either pulled up or he readjusted himself to maybe give a little bit less of a hit, but a legal one that didn't get him in trouble. He's not leaving his feet. He's not leading with that elbow anymore. He's not doing the small, stupid things that always got him into big trouble. So I 100% agree. Kadri is a new man, and that is going to be a big reason why this offense will be able to continue its dominance going forward. Because again, that just adds another chink in that armor, another piece to that depth. And him playing at the level he's played all season. I mean, he had a career year. He's having, I, he might not be scoring the way he did in the regular season, but the way he's playing in the playoffs is, I mean, leaps and bounds better than anything he's given up to this point, most definitely.
Yeah, I think
So,
he's definitely showing his true potential and his true desires right now.
yes, he wants that cup, and he's going to do everything it takes, even if that is taking it a notch back on the intensity. But
Yes.
the ones that did not take a step back on the intensity, as we just said, was this defensive core, either offensively or defensively. We just talked about how they were holding the Predators to single-digit shots on goal in periods, but they also contributed on the offensive end. Every single one of the defensive core of this team scored at least a point. Who is most likely to continue that production in round two?
Besides Cale Makar.
Besides Cale.
Honestly, I have to give it to my boy Devontae's.
You stole him.
Yeah, of course I did. I've been ranting about him for a while. You should have known that was coming. All season long, he's been just a phenomenal player, and like every time that he's out, the Avs don't do that well. So for me, I think he has that drive, that want. He knows that Cale Makar is going to likely be the number one for the Avs, and he's okay with that. Like, he loves Cale. They're great together. It's a perfect bromance. Again, if you haven't seen it, you need to go check it out because they love each other. But for me, I think he's shown so much sparkle and just he's phenomenal as well, and he does get overshadowed by Cale, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. But I think Islander fans are really seeing what they maybe missed out on. And I think that trade stings a little bit more than a lot of them would like to lead on.
I do, and to throw another log in that fire, I do believe that trade has a lot to do with the Islanders coach being let go in this offseason. I think that they really undercut him, and taking away that talent caused a lot more problems on that roster than what they'd like to lead on.
Well, and they all say that it was a salary dump, but there was so many other players that you could have done a salary dump with, and like the Avs have a really good team, and I think that no matter who comes on this team at this point, they're gonna be better than what they were on another team. But I think that he has stepped up to the point where he has his own eye drawn to him during the game. And I think that's huge, again, with, you know, Cale Makar being our star defenseman, just having a little bit more of a head turn, I think is a big step to what he's done.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's a pick your poison. It's like, okay, we're going to focus on Makar. Well, now Taves is destroying you, or McKinnon, or, you know, whoever else it is. There's just no real way to attack this team on any level, whether it's the defenseman, whether it's the wings, the center, it does not matter. Everybody can score from literally anywhere on the ice at any moment. So this has got to be the most frustrating team for any defense to try and figure out. And we saw it all series long. Outside of the one game where, like you said, Ingram stood on his head and did his best Patrick Wall, Marc-Andre Fleury impersonation, and held the Avalanche to the lowest scoring output, but still lost the game because again, there was just too much pressure coming from every single direction. Eventually, the dam breaks, and the Avalanche just pour it on. There is no there's no run rule or goal rule. They're looking to bury opponents, and that's the biggest thing I love about this team is that you can punch them in the mouth, but unlike every other year where they would go and cower in the corner and cry, this year they punch back, and they did it all series long, and I see it continuing on. Excuse me, and I know I'm kind of pontificating here because really you stole my guy, and I have to stay with him. I gotta double down, and I gotta say Devon Taves. That man is special, and he is definitely underrated because of who's around him. If he's on just about any other squad, he's one of the superstars. On this squad, he's still a star, but compared to the others, he's just kind of a guy. It's not a knock on him, not his talent. It's just who he has around him are just that much more special. It's insane to say that. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth, but this is the truth. I can't do anything but the truth.
Yeah, definitely.
But speaking of defense, the special teams came through. The Avs led the league in the first round in both power play percentage and penalty kill percentage. What did you see that made them so successful?
I mean, I think it kind of ties into all of their scoring power that they have. Um, and just Jared Bednar's ability to decipher who should be on the ice when, what defensemen need to be on the power play, what defensemen need to be on the penalty kill, what forwards need to be on the power play, what forwards work well together on the power play, who works well as defense on the power or on the penalty kill rather, and who works best as like a defensive forward on the penalty kill. And I think just having enough movement within that, that it just makes them more of a lethal team. But I also think that we do have to look at Nashville. They're one of the most penalized teams in the NHL. They prove that all throughout the series. They were on their, backup goaltender. They have had a little bit of a rough season for themselves. Still made the playoffs, but a little bit of a rough season. So I do think it might change a little bit moving forward, but I think that the Avs have enough scoring potential, scoring power, and like I said, just that movement throughout their lineup that I think Jared Bednar is a smart enough coach that he can figure out how to defend and how to score in specialty team situations.
I agreed. I think I got a perfect quote here from Berkey himself that will back you up. He said, "I think the whole team is really buying into the defensive side. We're not rushing. We're taking care of what we have to take care of before we go to offense. I think everyone is buying into sacrifice and blocking shots and really doing the right things out there. That's really important in the playoffs. It's great to see that everyone is on the same page." And I think that's the most prescient way to put it. Every single player is on the same page. You have yet to see any player out of position, giving up, a breakaway, a 3-on-2, a 2-on-1. We really have not seen that at all in the first 4 games. Now that could change, like you said. Things happen. They've had some time off. Maybe somebody gets lazy, but the way this team fought back is just gives me the wherewithal to really believe that this is not going to be the same as we have seen before, where they wax off a lesser opponent in the first round just to reach, a brick wall in the second or third round against a team with a better defense or better goaltending, whatever the case may be. I really believe that the moves that Sakic made to beef up this squad is going to be the difference. It's going to be what actually propels them into the Stanley Cup playoffs, or to the finals, I should say, and then actually winning it all. That's going to be the key, and they did it in this series. They went up against probably the most physical team in the NHL that threw the most hits in the regular season, and the Predators kept it up. They threw the most hits of any team in the first round in only 4 games. I think what was it? I think game 2 there was like 150 some hits thrown between the two teams, which was more than the triple overtime game the same night. Like,
Yeah.
that's just insane, the amount of bodies being thrown around.
Well, and it's nice to see, like, in the past, it seemed like you said, the Avs would kind of cower and back off from that kind of play. And I think with some of the signing that Joe Sakic did, I think not only are they stepping up to hit, but I also think that other teams are actually kind of afraid when it comes to, like, dirty shots, because they know that they're probably going to have to fight somebody. And I know Curtis McDermott was sat, like, the entire series, but if a player gets hit dirty, you can't tell me that Jared Bednar is going to keep him sitting. Like, we all understand that. Jack Johnson stood up, you know, for people all season long, for us, and we all know Eric Johnson, if he gets mad enough, can fight. We know, I don't like it, but Nathan MacKinnon can fight. We have those players in our lineup now. And just in the hitting alone, Cale Makar, you watch him get hit, and he's the one that's, like, still standing and the other person's on the ground. And that happened with Bowen Byram this year too. This series too. He stood his ground and the other dude bounced off, and it looked like the guy was going for a big hit. But in reality, he was the one that paid the price.
Yes. I mean, and think about what's going to happen once these guys get a couple more years in the weight room. Like, they are not as solid as they are going to be. And like you said, McDermott is just sitting there waiting. He's the assassin. Like you said, there's no way if somebody gets hit dirty that we don't see McDermott. And when we do, you should know he's coming out swinging. Like, he's got a certain mission, a certain player. He's going to aim for them, and he's going to destroy them.
And the thing about McDermott is that he has played both offense and defense. So it's really up to Jared Bednar who he decides, like, okay, we can sit you so that this dude can pay the piper, if you will. Or if someone, God forbid, I hope this never happens this year, but gets injured, then, I mean, if you think about it, the Avs still have Newhook that they can play as well, too. He hasn't played at all up to this point either. So it's not like I'm not as concerned necessarily if someone goes down, as opposed to the past years.
Right. And just to drive this point home and really annoy people is, listen to who we just said has not played. Okay? They swept the Predators, and all these guys we just talked about have yet to see the ice.
Yeah.
That's the insanity of the depth of this team. They have guys that would be on, at the very lowest, the third line for most teams, that are riding the bench that they can't even find a spot for them to play in. Like, come on. That's just sick. That should make everybody sick. But speaking of injuries, as you just mentioned, Cogliano and Kemper are both set for a Game 1 return in Round 2. How crucial is each of them to the Avs' chances of continuing their domination?
You know, I think that Frankie looked really well in the games that he played. Give credit where credit is due, but I do also think that the Avs as a whole look better in front of Darcy Kemper. They look more comfortable. They look more relaxed. I don't know if he communicates with them a little bit more than maybe Frankie does, but they seem to move the puck better, play a little bit better defensively as well. Frankie's a great goaltender still, but I'm a little less confident in him than I am Darcy Kemper. Darcy Kemper is a seasoned veteran. He's been in these situations. He's been in the NHL for a long time. So for me, I think that's just kind of where I'm at with that situation. I'm very happy Darcy's back. I'm very happy it didn't affect his eyesight. That was the biggest scare originally, because a goalie can't see. They're going to stop the puck for sure. So, and then having Cogs back, I think he's a good, this sounds horrible, but like third and fourth line guys, if you don't notice them, they're doing their job. So he's a good guy that you don't really notice. But he can make those physical hits. He can make those plays. He can fight if need be. And he's that veteran presence, I think, that calms down some of our younger third and fourth line players, Logan O'Connor, guys like that. I think he gives that presence where you're like, okay, Cogs on the ice, we're good.
Right. Battle tested. That's the best
Yeah.
way I can put it for both of those guys. They've been there, they've done that, and they just got a special type of calm around them. And I completely agree. The way the team plays in front of Kemper as opposed to Frankie is night and day. I They just play so much more loose, more free. Their defense is better. They score more points. And they give up less shots when Kemper is in goal. Like you said, I don't know if it's a communication thing. I don't know if it's a comfort thing. Maybe it's just the fact that, like we said, he is the battle tested one. They trust him more, maybe. But for whatever reason it is, when Kemper's in goal, it's a totally different squad. Frankie just seems to do enough. Kemper, he'll have those times like right now. Currently, he's at like an almost 940 save percentage and at a 1.65 goals against average, if I'm correct. You can double check me on those, but they're pretty damn close, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, he's been lights out so far in the playoffs. And if he continues that with the way the rest of the team is playing, I feel sorry for anybody that gets in their way. I don't care who their matchups are coming up, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But the way this team plays with Kemper in goal, it's just unfair.
Hmm. Yeah, it's already unfair just with the talent that they have, but
Yes.
when that talent's actually fully performing, it's unquestionable dominance.
Yes. And are we not so happy it's our guys that are doing it, right?
It feels a little different. It feels a little different.
It definitely does. So it seems like between the two of us, we're pretty confident that the Avalanche are going to dominate. Now it's just a matter of who are they going to dominate. Right now, it's the Blues lead the Wild 3-2 in their series. Who do you see advancing, and who would be the better matchup?
Um, for me, I just really want this to go to 7 games. So maybe they're gonna play a team that's a little more tired, a little bit more beat up. Either team, I think the Avs have played decent this year against both teams. I think for my heart, I would rather play St. Louis because I still love Tyson Jost and I don't want to be the team to eliminate him. At least if St. Louis eliminates him, it's not as bad. But I wouldn't mind like eliminating Ryan O'Reilly. So
No.
I like Ryan. He was always a super nice guy and all that kind of stuff. But we got JT Comfer from that trade, so I'm okay with it.
Right?
So for me, I think I would rather play St. Louis. I think they tend to show up a little bit more when they play St. Louis as opposed to when they play Minnesota. For whatever reason, it just seems like, slightly they have their number or whatever the case is there. The matchup is just a little bit better in my opinion.
200 versus the cheap one.
I agree on that. I do think that there's just something about the Wild that seems to throw off the Avalanche. It's just one of those teams in sports that just doesn't make sense that they own you. Kind of like the Marlins with the Rockies in baseball. The way that it just seems to be, there's always one team with every team, no matter how good the team is, that just gives them fits.
Honestly, it's kind of funny that Darcy Kemper plays for us now because the Avs used to be his team. Like, they average like 7 or 8 goals against him almost a game. So I'm happy he plays for us now, and I'm sure he is too.
Yes, I am sure he is absolutely ecstatic about not having to deal with that anymore.
That's not me. We're good. We're good.
Okay. All right. So, but yeah, again, Wild just have their card. The Blues, like you said, just seems to bring something else out of them. I don't know if it's the O'Reilly factor or what it may be. They're just going to F it, do it live.
Or if it was game 82, a couple seasons ago. I was at that game biting my nails, jumping up and down. It's fine. Thank you, Gabriel Landeskog. Just a different level. Exactly. Just a different level, though.
Exactly. 100%. So I think we both agree. Blues would be the better matchup. I don't think it really matters which one with the way that they're playing. But again, that the Wild just give you that little inkling of worry because it just seems like they're that team for the Avs that just give them fits. So I definitely would rather see the Blues, even with what is it?
So to
Is
choose
it
one battalion,
Tarasenko,
just
the
do
one that
one
had
on
the,
fire,
had the hat trick the other night?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's a planter,
Yeah.
just,
So like even if
some
he's
smoldering
going off
on.
with
It's
the way
the
that he is
southwest
in their
corner.
series there, they really don't scare me.
Yeah.
The Wild, they just get, like I said, they just give you that little heebie-jeebie just right up the spine.
Honestly, the team that gives me the most heebie-jeebies, which I don't know if anyone else will agree with us, but it's actually Dallas. And it's not because of Jamie Benn, and it's not because of Tyler Seguin. It's actually because of Joe Pavelski. So I would rather not play Dallas in the playoffs or ever. Joe Pavelski is like, the Avs are his team. He shows up and he just smokes us all the time. And so I would just rather never play Joe Pavelski. I wish Joe Sakic would actually sign him to our team, so maybe that would stop. But
if you can't beat him, join him.
come
I
on, Joe,
agree.
listen to my podcast.
Now, Joe. Do it
Listen.
now.
Listen, Linda.
If my wife was here, she'd be going crazy. That's one of her favorite things in the world. She
It's a
says it
great
to my
video.
daughter all the time.
It's a great
Listen,
video.
Linda.
Listen,
It is a
Linda.
great video.
I would like shake Joe Sakic to get Joe Pavelski and be like, listen, Linda.
That's great.
That's my one player.
That's your one. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with that. If the Avalanche or Superman, he's the kryptonite. It's just
Yeah.
how it is.
I actually nicknamed him Joe the Dream Killer Pavelski.
That's actually not bad.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't like it, but I like
But
it.
it's true, so it's kind of hard to
It
fight
is.
with. So please
really
don't let
is.
us play Dallas.
Yeah,
Is
no.
the undertone of that
Let's see.
comment.
Actually, what is? I want to see what there's. You have me now wonder. I forgot
What their series is at?
Yeah, now you got me curious. Okay, well, they lost last game. Calgary leads 3-2. See, we actually might get your wish. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed. Let's see, when do they play next? Game 6 is tomorrow at 7:30.
Cool.
So we could know as soon as tomorrow at 7:30. Because I'll take Calgary all day over Dallas. Like,
yeah, I mean, Calgary is
doesn't scare me at
fun. Those games, I mean, they still scare me a little bit. I got to give them credit, but
all. Right.
those
they're a
games
good
are
team.
they're entertaining to watch.
Yes.
I'm less like, oh God, this guy's definitely going to score on us, like I am with Joe Pavelski. I'm like, oh no.
Like, not that guy again.
Anytime he touches the puck, I'm like, oh.
I need an adult.
Yeah, like, can we duct tape him to a wall or something?
Something, right? Pull a college prank and duct tape him to the flagpole or something.
Yes.
Yes, that'd be great.
Undertones.
to
Love you,
work
Joe
on
Pavelski. Please don't hate
Right.
me.
Please don't think we're plotting anything sinister.
No,
I promise we're not.
No, nope. Mm-mm.
Not suspicious at all.
Uh,
So I think we kind of powered through this, but I wanted to make sure we got to everything before, the EMS guys really kind of kicked us in the crotch again. So,
Yeah.
So it is a bit shorter pod than normal. We'll get back to longer length pods going forward once we have a better schedule. But like I said, I kind of powered through everything to make sure that Callie got to speak on everything because we like the Callie arguments. They're
Yes.
fun.
Yes. Yeah, and it's been a little rough lately. So I appreciate the EMS gods at least cooperating for this long. So
Yes.
hopefully
I think
they
40
can moving
minutes.
forward.
Yes, hopefully they can moving forward. We promise EMS gods we will make it as easy as possible if you make it easy on us. We will
good thing
sacrifice
is-
somebody's toe.
Yes. The good thing is I can get on here occasionally. I can still try and write stuff.
Yes.
The bad
And we'll
news
work
is
out-
I'm going to be in internship till July. So
Hey, that's all right. Like I said, we will happily roll with the punches. That way we get the Callie takes. That is
Yes.
how we work it here, and everybody will understand. And hopefully, maybe I'll get famous, and then I can pay you, and then you can say screw you to the EMS guy.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
Hey, who knows? I don't know if you watched the pod or anything yesterday, but I did announce, and I will announce again today for anybody that might not have been there. I will be on a reality show. I have the casting call tomorrow. It's with entrepreneurs. I will be I'll be in a mansion for 2 weeks with 20 other entrepreneurs, competing with them to be the last business standing, essentially. So that'll be fun. Hopefully that'll blow things up. I'll get famous, and then we can pay Callie, and she can
Deal.
be here all the time. Deal?
Yes, I'm also trying to get back into photography, so if anybody ever needs any photos taken, let me know. If you ever want
You
any
got the
sports
Twitter right there.
photos, yeah, if you ever
Yes.
want any sports photos, I specialize in that. So
All of them. All
Yes.
of them. Yes. We
Yes.
will take them all. And like you said, her Twitter's right down here. Get in touch with her. Get in touch with me. I'll be happy to reference her over. Like she said, any kind of and I can vouch. Pictures are great. She does great work. I
thank
will
you.
put my name on it. You are welcome. So make sure you check her out at the Twitters. Make sure you check us out at the Twitters because we are almost at 1,000 Twitter followers, people. Y'all are absolutely epic, Tave 42 fam. We're going to keep pushing that out, keep getting y'all even more content as we go forward. And as always, for the Answers 42 Media Network, Sasquatch says, I am your host, Dan Wetstein. Look at that. I got the point right. That's the co host, Callie. Make sure you give us all some love. And as always, don't question the blue.